the city where capitalism was born, Amsterdam. Before New York had Wall Street, before London had the city, there was a tiny patch of land wrested from the sea, Amsterdam. And here, quietly, the system that runs the world today was born. Stocks, banks, insurance, speculation, even history's first financial crash. All of it began in a city built below sea level. This is the financial historian, where money, power, and history meet. And nothing is ever as simple as it seems. 400 years ago, Amsterdam was different from the rest of the world. In an age of kings, it was a republic. No king, no massive armies, no huge mines or vast territories. But it had something even more valuable: trust. The Dutch didn't conquer land. They conquered distance. They dug canals, mapped the seas, and turned trade into an art. Every ship leaving Amsterdam carried more than goods. It carried words, contracts, insurance papers, letters of credit. Those promises on paper were as valuable as gold. That's how capitalism began, not as an ideology, but as an answer to a problem. How do you fund a voyage when no single person can shoulder the risk? In 1602, a group of merchants gave a game-changing answer. The Verenigde Oostindische Compagnie, the Dutch East India Company. It was the world's first joint stock company. A ship was no longer a one-time adventure. The company was permanent. Investors bought shares and could sell them to others. You no longer had to sail to Asia to get rich. You could own a piece of the ship from a bench in Amsterdam. For the first time, wealth separated from labor. Fortunes were built on paper, not just sweat. Those shares began to trade in Amsterdam. Prices moved on rumor, hope, and fear. This was the birth of the stock market. Under the shadow of a church, the modern world was being priced in real time. The Dutch didn't call it capitalism. They called it commerce. But the logic was the same: trust, risk, and opportunity balanced against each other. While kings funded wars with taxes, the Dutch financed the world with belief, capital. Taxes ask for obedience. Capital asks for confidence, and confidence travels far. The 17th century became the Dutch Golden Age. Amsterdam was the richest city on earth. Ports full of ships, warehouses overflowing with spice, sugar, silk. But the real treasure was invisible: numbers in ledgers. Money wasn't just coin, it was trust. That trust was institutionalized in 1609 with the Bank of Amsterdam, the first real central bank. It cut through Europe's currency chaos. People now had one reliable unit of account. Something trusted sometimes more than gold itself: reputation. Amsterdam didn't just trade goods, it traded risk. Insurance, futures, options. Many of these ideas were born there. In coffeehouses and taverns, traders stopped trading goods and started trading price movement. People profited from volatility, and they lost from it. Then a flower came along, the tulip, and with it, history's first bubble, Tulip Mania. A single tulip bulb sold for the price of a house. People weren't buying a flower, they were buying the hope of selling it for more tomorrow. And one day, that hope vanished. Prices crashed, fortunes disappeared, but the Dutch didn't give up. They analyzed instead of banning. They learned markets run on emotion, not just math. Amsterdam built a system that learned from its own failures. That's why capitalism survived. It adapts. It's not a machine, it's a mirror. It reflects human greed, fear, and hope. 4 centuries later, we still stare into that mirror, still chasing the same dream: control the waves and get rich without getting wet. Capitalism didn't start as a theory. It came from a small nation fighting not to drown. It rose from mud, a system built on paper, trust, and belief. It made the modern world possible. But it also keeps asking us, if an empire is built on trust, can that trust still be earned?